videos, pictures, disparaging comments in all sorts of mega file share sites, other sites, blogs, websites that he's purchased in my name, and that's been factually and actually and truly found out to be the truth, because there was a subpoena for records and things like that. I mean, just to the level where it was crazy, like overwhelming. I was getting approached at gas stations. I could hear people sneering and making comments. Somebody grabbed my wrist and tried to pull on me, and when I screamed and pressed the button, the clerk ran out, the guy ran off, and I said, "Aren't you going to call the police?" And he said, "What for? They're not going to find the guy. He's going to be long gone before the police even respond. It'll be 20 minutes to an hour before a squad gets here. What are we going to tell him? The guy was on the camera?"
Samantha, all right. Hey,
yeah.
But then I realized, that had to be a horrifying and terrifying experience for you through it all. And
right.
I believe that you mentioned that the conclusion of the case has come to a just conclusion now. And that,
I mean,
now,
it's in limbo. Yeah.
But then now, what can you tell the women out there and the men and whoever out there how to best protect themselves? Briefly, before we take a quick break here, and then we'll get this here call-in number. Let me give the call-in number real quick, Sam, and then you can give that.
Absolutely.
All right, for the guests out there listening in that would like to call in and have a comment, or would like to see some input, or to just be a guest on the show, the guest call-in number is 845 area code 277-9182. Once again, area code 845-277-9182. And you can either speak with myself or with Miss Samantha Walker of Rebirth Radio. I have another perspective. Also, we may even get a guest call in from Miss Simone Higginbottom, the CEO and founder of Rebirth Radio. All right, we're going to take a quick break here, and then when we come back, Sam, she's going to wrap it up here. As a matter of fact, I'm going to let Sam keep chatting with you. I have to go to the restroom.
All right. Well, when all this was taking place, I had orders for protection, but they didn't do much good because the state statute couldn't cover that until 2015, 2016, when they finally came into play. The individual was charged with 2 counts of violating the order for protection and the state statute, got a year, no same or similar, reviolated, and upon this reviolation and the subpoena for these records, found out that stuff that I had previously reported fell under that, and they were able to reopen it. And now he's been charged again this past summer on 2 different counts, and we're awaiting trial and then eventually sentencing potentially. We don't know what the outcome is going to be. The Supreme Court case with this individual in, I believe, Illinois, this young lady, could have some precedent, but my understanding is that some states' language in the law is what's in play, not the law itself. So we shall see. I hope for justice. I pray for justice because people should be stopped when they continue to do things like this. As far as tips and pointers, when you deal with somebody who has narcissistic personality disorder, look for signs and symptoms like they're super charismatic and charming. When they get into a relationship, all of their past relationships, it's always everybody else's fault. It's never their fault. They may or may not isolate a lot. Yeah. Okay. I'm just giving tips and pointers right now.
Okay, I am back. But Sam, I hear you giving tips and pointers. But in order for people to fully understand that, your background, I think you should tell them a little bit about your educational background and why you're able to identify these personality disorders as you do.
Sure. I have a bachelor's degree in psychology with a minor in lifespan psychology. I also have a master's degree in psychology and human behavior with a specialization in a focus in marriage and family therapy and systemic therapy, which includes identification of personality disorders. So I have the degree and the education and the background that allows me to view behaviors and thought processes and disordered thinking in a certain way. And by no means has this individual been diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder, and it's highly unlikely, unless the court forces it or mandates it, that he will ever be diagnosed formally. It usually takes some sort of legal intervention for narcissists to be diagnosed, unless they finally determine their life has been crazy enough and they want to get help. But most of the time, they don't feel they're the problem, so they won't reach out.
All right, Sam. Hey, well, we'll take that there insight into your movie. Feel that would help people better, that you're able to identify what's as these here faults and these flaws in human behavior. But now, Sam, we're kind of pressed for time here, so I think we should kind of go on. And let's just talk about the upcoming release of the film, The Unseen Effects of Revenge Porn.
Right.
Which we will be releasing within the next 5 days. Only because there's some additional edits but we also wanted to talk about one of the biggest things that have ever happened in my lifetime, and many of yours. That is, this is the second that I, as an American citizen, have witnessed the impeachment of a U.S. president. Now, we're just going to talk about it. This is not the opinion of anyone else. We're just talking to open the floodgates to get people to talk, to find out their thoughts on this, okay?
Yeah, and these are just opinions, not facts. I mean, these are just thoughts,
Okay. Now, we also understand that even though U.S. President Donald J. Trump was recently impeached on 2 articles, obstruction of justice and abuse of power. Mm-hmm. But there's also talk that the president is facing a second impending impeachment trial. Now, how is that even possible? I've never even heard of a president being impeached twice. If anyone out there in the listening audience has ever heard of this, please call in. Our number is 858-452-77-9182. We would love to hear you. What you know about a second impeachment of a sitting U.S. president?
Well, James, I think the Democrats have their own little trial right before the holidays, and I believe that the Republicans still have to have their trial. And so I don't think it's necessarily a second impeachment. I think both departments have to vote to impeach in order for the impeachment to entirely go through. Otherwise, it's just merely in writing.
Well, Sam, from my understanding is that there was the impeachment trial, which they got, but in order to go further, they have to have what is called the Senate trial, and that is the Senate is controlled heavily by the Republican Party.
Correct.
Now, they said, if that goes forth, then they will bring in the documents to begin the second impeachment process. So this is not, it's just one already. We're just waiting on the Senate trial, which is supposed to happen sometime here in January 2020. Then after that proceeding, then they will again initiate another impeachment proceeding. So that's why I said there's a second impending impeachment, not the Senate trial. In that trial, the Senate trial is one that they also can use to actually remove a sitting president. Now that's oh boy.
You know, here's my problem with this. Like, shouldn't this have happened like a year or two ago? Like, it's happening now, right before a re-election. If he's not elected anyway, I mean, he's pretty much finishing out his term because this is dragging on and on and on. And you know the Republicans are going to bring it right up to the edge of the end of his presidency.
Well, you know, the thing
I believe in the news on top of that, sorry, James, but I believe in the news on top of that, this impeachment hearing, because of all the blurbs from Republicans and Democrats and the way this has gone about, I understand that his ratings have gone up. They had dropped, but I believe that they've gone up now.
Yeah, well, you know, politics is that's one of those crazy animals that you really don't want to cross. You know, you know, I say that because several years ago, I ran for president of the president of. Excuse me. Let me back that up. I did not run for president. I ran for the office of mayor of the city of Blaine, Minnesota. And
the man who was the mayor. Another video.
And yes, and the backlash that I received in that was, well, James, we believe that you're a great businessman and that you can do this and you can do that, but you'd be hard pressed to get the whites to vote for you in a white community. Well, I got nearly 7,000 votes for a first timer entering the political race. You know, and came pretty. Pardon?
And your history, and that's astounding considering you ran with an open platform, not hiding your history.
No, you know, that was everyone knew that I was an ex-offender running for this public office, and was an NBC News story slated to be released on my running for mayor and my running the nonprofit organization, It's Far Reach, and our schools and everything, and how we were helping the homeless as well. But that was overshadowed by NBC put the story on the back burner when Doanld J. Trump entered the presidential race. So the James Whitfield story, the man that could do it, that was put on the back burner. But anyway, you know, with the with politics, one's ratings can go up and down. You know, it's very likely that that his ratings at this particular moment could be sky high. This week they could be down again. So it's like a seesaw.
Right. Hey, you know, I just got word that Miss Simone Higginbottom herself may be calling into the show very, very soon. I don't care.
Okay, well, we have, let me see what we got. We have approximately 13 minutes left here on our hour program. So
right.
I hope that she calls in. It will be a delight to talk with her and to hear what she has plans for, if she cares to share those plans, you know, with the listening audience for her future in 2020 going forward.
Oh, what a vision it is.